what's up guys? Jerry here, aka Barnacules, and today we're finally reviewing
the Stream Deck.
Now, Elgato had sent me this device over several months ago expecting a review, and one thing led to another. I started using the device every single day to run my own live stream instead of actually reviewing the device like they wanted me to do. So I figured I'd do them a solid and actually get a review out to you guys because I do quite like the device. It's actually one of my favorite devices I've reviewed in a very long time, and if you're a live streamer like me, you're gonna find it pretty much invaluable to your operation. Now, I've been live streaming every day over on the Twitch TV platform at twitch.tv/Barnacules, called Morning Coffee with Barnacules. Literally, it's just to get me out of bed in the morning. That's the only reason I do this live stream. I wake up, drink coffee, and talk to you guys. And I use this to coordinate the entire effort by myself. That's switching between cameras, bringing in sound effects, doing graphical overlays, you name it. This device allows me to manage it as a one-man band. And that's what makes it so valuable to me as a live streamer. So let's go ahead and bust into this box. Let me show you guys what's inside and why you should probably consider getting one. So when you guys buy a Stream Deck, this is what the box looks like. Now, of course, this box right here is completely empty, as you'll be able to see if I can ever open it. There you go. There's nothing in there. And that is because, like I said, I've been using the thing for months.
Okay, I almost broke my camera there, but that's fine.
This is what the device looks like right here. This is the Stream Deck itself. You can see it's kind of small. It's got a metal top on it. It feels pretty heavy and actually really good quality. And honestly, my only complaint with the physical device is the cable. This cable right here is only 3 feet long, and I know of a lot of people that have to go a lot further than 3 feet from their desktop to the back of their gaming rig. So I don't know why they decided to make a permanently affixed USB cable. Plus, if your cat decides to chew on this, you're out another $150 buying another one. Now, other than the incredibly short USB cable, I think the device is really well built. I love how bright the screens are behind each one of the buttons, and I love the tactile feel of the buttons. But what makes this device really unique is that each button has a screen behind it that is configurable. You can put whatever graphic you want on the screen. Depending on the state of the button, you can change the graphic, you can change the position of the text based on the state of the button. So you have a lot of control over the visuals on this, which means you can spend less time looking at the screen trying to figure out what's going on during your live stream and more time playing the game or doing whatever it is on your live stream and just glancing down at this occasionally. Now, it also comes with a little stand that I didn't like at first, but eventually I grew to like, and it basically lets you get the thing at multiple different angles for sitting on your desk and facing towards you, depending on how high your desk is or if you want it laying flat and out of view. You have a lot of options with it, but it is a little bit awkward, and honestly, I felt like the stand felt a bit cheap compared to the quality of the actual device. But this is what I care the most about, and this thing is solid. I mean, I've already dropped it on the floor and ran over it with my chair twice, and we're good to go. Now, one thing I feel like I have to state is that the device does not support XSplit. So there's two types of software really in the broadcasting industry that dominate all of the live casting on the internet, and that's OBS Studio and XSplit. Now, presently, this device only works with OBS Studio. However, I've been told that support is coming for XSplit, but there is no ETA on that. But that by no means means you can't use the device with XSplit. It's just you're not gonna be able to use it at the API level. Like this integrates with OBS Studio, which means you're gonna be using hotkeys to switch things around and not directly tying to the actions like you do in OBS Studio. So this is definitely more targeted right now towards an OBS Studio user, which I myself am. Now, what makes this device so powerful is how it works in concert with its software. It's basically just called Stream Deck, and it runs in the background on your computer. And basically, everything that happens in the Stream Deck software happens one-to-one real time with the device. So you can almost think of this as like a USB display that's showing exactly what the software is sending to it, which gives it a lot of power over how it can be configured and how it can grow and the functionality of the device can grow, because it's not limited to just what the device can do internally. All right, so this is what it looks like when I'm running my live stream. Right now I am capturing this camera and my other camera through OBS Studio on the computer. So this is exactly what you'd see if you were watching my morning coffee live stream every day over on Twitch TV. Now, what the device allows me to do is, like, I can switch to camera 2 here, and you can see right here, camera 2 is showing as highlighted, and the text is up at the top of the screen. And you can see that it also changes in the Stream Deck software itself as I push the button. So I'm gonna switch back to camera 1. And now that I'm switched back to camera 1, it's gonna show the transition between these two as I push it. So that way I don't have to actually look at the screen. I can just look down at the device. I also have other views that I can select, like if I have web pages open or if I'm playing video games. Right now I don't, so the screen is just black. But this is how I control my entire live stream, and it actually works really well. Now, the software itself is actually really easy to use over here. You have lots of different categories over here on the right side. You have game capture, which works with Elgato capture products only. Now, I don't use Elgato's capture products at the moment, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave that minimized. I also don't use Tippy Stream, but if you use Tippy Stream for taking tips on your stream and using all the animations and everything, it also supports that. But I do use OBS Studio. So these actions like camera 1 and camera 2 are powered by the scene, the mixer audio, and the source action. Now let's say I want to change which scene OBS Studio is pointed at. So now I'm going to come over here. I'm going to drag the scene element over onto a new button. And then inside of this new button, I'm going to go ahead and change it to the main camera. So I'm going to make main camera this. Now I want to assign an icon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to say create a new icon. Now that's going to bring up a web page, which is Elgato's icon generator. And it's basically like an online version of Photoshop where you can click some icons, you can overlay some stuff, make it look however you want. Let's say, our little dude doing a thumbs up here. But you can add your own text on it if you want to. When you're done, just click save thumbnail. Or you can use any graphic that you want. You are not limited to just using this. Then once you save it, all you do is go back and say right click, set from file, and then select the new icon. And now you can see the new icon is right down here at the bottom, both on the Stream Deck and in the software. So that's my new icon. I can also overlay text on it. So let's say we just want to call it main camera. So I'm going to do main, enter camera. And yes, you can do multi-line input, even though it doesn't look like a multi-line control. I did talk to Elgato about that. Hopefully they fix that and make it look like a multi-line control in the future. You can also change the orientation of the text. But what's really cool is you can also change the different graphics depending on the state. So if it's selected or not selected, for instance, I want the text in the middle. Then you can click this other little dot and change it what you want it to look like when it's not selected. So you can have it be two different states. So text in the middle and highlighted, or text at the top and not highlighted. You can also change the graphic entirely. So if you don't want a dimmer version of the graphic to indicate that it's turned off, you can change it entirely to like a graphic indicating off. So now once you have that in place, I should be able to just click on our new button here, and it should take us to the main cam. And of course, here we are back at the main cam. Now, if I want to go back to camera 2, I can just push camera 2, and you can see how I can easily switch around. And because it's so tactile, I can even feel the 3 rows of 5 keys without physically looking down at the device and be reasonably confident about what I'm doing while I'm engaging the camera. It's a lot easier than having to use a keyboard and remember a bunch of hotkeys. Now, if I go ahead and collapse OBS Studio and open up Twitter, you see you can also do tweets. Now, I created a bunch of tweets under this folder right here. When you push it, you'll see it opens up a folder, and you can see I can tweet that I'm live on Discord, or I'm live on Twitch, or I'm live on Instagram. And these are all actions that I created inside of the software. And you can come down and say exactly what you want to tweet out when you push those buttons. Now, what's cool is when you push those buttons, it actually shows you if it was successful or not. Like, for instance, I'm going to push this and tell everybody I'm live on Discord on Twitch, right, or on Twitter right now. Now watch, see, now that tells me that it successfully used the Twitter API to send that. Now, if it doesn't have that mark, it'll have a yellow exclamation point, which means it failed for some reason. Now, also, if I go up a folder, I also have a Twitch folder, and the Twitch folder contains all my Twitch actions. I can change it to slow chat, sub chat, follow only. I can also put any messages that I want down in the stream, and I can even say like what game I'm playing with the single touch of a button. It makes things really, really easy to change categories and such. And you can see they've added more functionality in the latest version of the software. I can do a chat message. I can show how many viewers I have on stream. I can play an advertisement. I can change the stream title with a key press. There's lots of functions. I can even enable emote chat so people can only talk with emoticons, which I never really understood in the first place, but apparently some people like it. Now, last but not least, you have the system panel. Now, the system panel allows you to open a website. Now, you can also open a website if you want in the background without actually showing anything on the screen. So if you want to do something like an HTML5 action or something that manipulates like Tippy Stream, for instance, or does something with Muxy Stream or one of the other HTML5 based overlays that you use for your stream. I use Muxy personally. That gives you a lot of flexibility there. Now, under System, you can also do a hotkey switch, which allows you to basically toggle an action. So you push the button once, it does one keystroke. You push it again, it does a different keystroke. So you can toggle something on and off. Now, one of the cool things about all the system icons is that you don't have to use them to live stream. You can use them in a game. For instance, if you were playing WoW, for instance, you could bind all of your actions to buttons under a folder called WoW, and then you could control all your spell casting and your cooldown. All your keystrokes could be managed through there, and you could put little graphics on the back to be indicative of what you see in the game so that anybody knows exactly what that key is going to do. You also have just the regular hotkey where you push it and it just does an action. It's not a toggle, it's not on-off, it's just you click it and it does it once. You can also open an application if you want. So you push the key, you open Photoshop. I have another folder on here called Apps, and if I push that, I have Photoshop, Premiere, and Audition. Those are my most used applications. I also have Chrome, Skype, Steam, and Origin, which are for gaming and stuff like that. I have those all mapped there so that I can easily open them up and I don't have to have icons sitting on the desktop on my computer or down in the start button. It just keeps everything nice and clean. You also have a settings cog that you can push here in the software that opens up a key brightness. You can actually move it up and down and make the keys brighter or dimmer depending on, how bright your room is, for instance. You also can check for new updates. Let's see if there's another update. See, it says we're all up to date, but there are a lot of updates coming out for the software really regularly. Also under accounts, this is where you configure your Tippy Stream account, your Twitter accounts, and your Twitch accounts, and you can create multiple of all of them. So you can pretty much bind these keys to do all your social networking for you while you're doing the live stream. And I find it's really useful every once in a while during the live stream for me to reach down there and push a button and just say, hey, I'm live on Twitch right now on Twitter, and that way I don't have to open it up and go type a tweet and put the URL in there and everything. It's all done just from one key press. Now there's also a layout tab in there, and if you click the layout tab, you can save your entire configuration by exporting it and then re-importing it. One thing I like about this is you can actually create multiple different button sets for this and just import them as you need them and as you use them. I wish that they had a better system for managing this that would allow me to have basically a hotkey to change the entire profile for the device. And I have a huge feature request list for them to get a lot more functionality, but they've been really good about putting new functionality in, and I'm fully thinking they're capable of putting a lot more in the future. Now, I do also have it on good authority that Elgato is working on some new functionality, including an API for this device, so us programmers can do some really cool stuff with it at the API level. And a lot of people that haven't wanted to wait for Elgato have already created third-party APIs for this device that you can find at GitHub. I'll have a couple of them linked down in the video description, but I'm gonna go ahead and hold out for a little while and see if Elgato comes out with the API that is supported for the device, because I would love to do a Nerdgasm on it. So do I think the Elgato device helps me with my live streaming? Absolutely. I use it every single day. Would I recommend it to you as a purchase for somebody who's just getting into live stream and is new to it? Oh, absolutely. Hands down. The ability to be able to reach down to the desk and have just tactile feel of 5 buttons on each row allows me to select exactly what I want without having to remember complex key combinations on my keyboard. Also being able to glance down at the device and see how many people are in my stream and what things are toggled and what things are not and which camera's activated without having to keep OBS Studio up on the screen is hugely important and helps me out a lot. I get a lot of compliments on how high quality my live stream is and how people are able to engage me, and I'm able to engage the camera while I'm switching between things and while I'm doing things. And it's because I'm not constantly looking down at the keyboard trying to figure out how to do Control-Shift F1 or Control-Shift F5 and remembering which one activates which scene. So I think it's a beautiful device. I think Elgato's price point of $150, other than that permanent USB cable, I think is more than fair for the quality of device, as good as the screen is and as good as the software is. So I'm going to say, I'm going to give this one a thumbs up. I definitely would purchase more of these. I just need Elgato to get off their butt and put in functionality that allows me to run more than one of these at a time from their software, because apparently they didn't think of that coming out of the gate, that I might want more than 3 rows of 5 buttons. And right now I can tell you I want these things all over my desk. So honestly, guys, I think it's my 3rd favorite peripheral right behind the keyboard and mouse. It's something that I use every single day. I love the software, I love the configurability, and most of all, I love that Elgato has taken a lot of my feedback over the last 2 months, and they've actually manifested themselves as feature in the software. That tells me that they run really fast and loose with development, and we're gonna see a lot more functionality coming out of this device in the future. If you guys would like to buy one of these devices, I have an Amazon link down in the video description that's an affiliate link for the channel. That means if you use that link, you actually help out the channel and you help me out. And if you guys have any other further questions about the Elgato Stream Deck, feel free to ask them down below in the comments, or come over and tweet me at Barnacules on Twitter. Also, if you'd like to see the device in action, I use it every single day over on Twitch TV/Barnacules for up to 4 hours every day. I do morning coffee with Barnacules over there. It's 8:30 a.m. PDT, so you guys can figure out what your time zone, and if that's drinking time in the afternoon for you, or eating cereal time in the morning, or waking up at 3 a.m. I don't know which country you're in, but you know, I'm sure you're out there. Tune in and check it out. We have a lot of fun every morning, and this is the device that makes that possible. All right, guys, take it easy, and until next time.